Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. June 22, 2019, the Saturday is Here edition. First up, from Reuters, Odebrecht is filing for bankruptcy. So the now second largest FCPA fine in the history of the world ever, assessed against Odebrecht, has caused the company not only great financial pain, but looks like now they will be filing bankruptcy. They have struggled since that time. It really speaks to what can happen to a company, not so much from the fine and penalty they paid, although obviously that was huge, but no one will do business with them now, and their revenues have dropped considerably down to looks like 80% of the business was lost because of the company's bribery and corruption scandal. So a pretty clear example of what can happen when it really does all go down. Next up, Novatis is apparently in talks with the U.S. government to settle a case over allegations that the company paid doctors to market its products. It's not clear if this is a FCPA or other case, but there is a monetary aspect to the settlement, and there may well be a monitor aspect under a new corporate integrity agreement, because the agreement would specify the company has to implement a set of compliance obligations, including the establishment of a compliance infrastructure, a CCO, training risk assessment program, and outside monitoring. This was released apparently inadvertently. Nevertheless, it will be a very big deal if Novartis settles and has to do this going forward. Next up, the recent change in administration policy, which allows people to sue companies who are utilizing expropriated property in Cuba. The 1996 Helms-Burton Act has bitten Expedia, as two U.S. citizens have sued the hotel search company for utilizing a hotel that they claim was expropriated from their family some 15 years ago. The hotel is now operated by the Melia Hotels International chain from Spain, and Expedia books guests there, and even that was apparently enough to trigger the lawsuit. So it's going to be interesting to follow and see what happens going forward. And finally, Boeing takes yet another black eye when one of the most well-known pilots, literally in the United States and perhaps the world, Chesley Sullenberger, the pilot behind the Miracle on the Hudson in 2009, urged FAA regulators to demand full simulator training for pilots on the Boeing 737 MAX before it's allowed to return to the air. He said this would help pilots develop muscle memory to react to challenges. He went on to say that this is what literally saved he and his crew from the devastation that could have happened if they had not been able to land on the Hudson. So when Sully talks, you know it's with a very big stick. He's a very impressive witness, obviously one of the top pilots in the United States, and one that everyone listens to. So Boeing does not want to require this training because it would not only cost them money, but delay delivery of the flight. I've noted several times this week, my latest podcast is up, and I hope you will check it out, Trekking Through Compliance. If you love Star Trek or you just love compliance, this is the podcast for you. It's short, between 7 and 8 minutes each day, gives you a wrap-up synopsis of the episode and then some compliance lessons learned. Also, I hope you will listen tomorrow for the Sunday book review, where I detail 3 or 4 of the books that caught my eye from the weekend book reviews. Thanks. All of this is a part of the Compliance Podcast Network and now a member of C-Suite Radio.